All right, St. Patty's Day. Gonna install the chainsaw mount today, as well as the front bumper. Could not find any aftermarket front bumpers, just the one from CanAm. This is the box that it comes in. It is pretty lightweight, feels durable. Instructions look really easy, but small gripe. I mean, you spend $400 something on something and they send you a piece of paper that says to go online to download the instructions. Like, talk about cheaping out a little bit there. So we're gonna put that on, as well as the chainsaw mount. So excited about that. She really needs a bath, but we've been using her. Love it. Okay, getting ready to do the chainsaw mount. Pretty basic, a little bit of hardware. This is actually heavier than the bumper, I think. All right, well, we're gonna have to come back to the chainsaw holder. Long and short of it is, you've got 3 self-tapping screws that you can use, or you can use U-bolts. And you know, I'll show you here, there's not a great solution here that doesn't use the self-tapping screws, which I really just, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of that quite yet. If that's where I have to go to, I have to go to. You can see here, this sits nicely. This is about the height that I'm at. I'm 6'1". You can easily find some holes to self-tap in there. And then I thought, well, I could use the U-bolt, right? Maybe get it out here, kind of out of the way, up on top. But if I'm honest, you're really, it's going to be hard to demonstrate without a cameraman today. But you're, here's my hand, right? So this is shoulder level for me. Again, I'm 6'1". Then you're pulling the saw just up and out. And I've got a big, you know, Husqvarna Rancher. It's not super light. It's a little too high. So what I think I'm actually going to be able to do, and it's hard to show on video, this probably comes something to do with the cab enclosure, but these 2 slots do fit in nicely into this bracket. So but unfortunately it only comes with those U-bolts and nuts, locking nuts, and the self-tapping. So I've got hardware at home that I don't have with me that I'm going to use that. So to be continued on this project. Just a little update there. And then my thoughts on the bumper: super easy install, 20 minutes, and probably could have been a little quicker if I had a drill. All I had was Allen keys, so you're gonna need, I think it's a 13mm deep socket to get around. You're gonna take some screws off. Let's see if I can see, there's a glare here. So you're gonna take some bolts and some nuts out with an Allen key from the factory, and then replace them. But you've got to get a socket behind, and then you're sitting there with an Allen key and you keep dropping it, and that kind of stuff. But it's, other than that, you pop out this piece of plastic, a long bolt with a locking nut on the back and some bushings, 2 on the top, and then again, same situation on the bottom. Have 2 socket sets or an adjustable wrench with you. These bottom ones are just bolts. They do not have Allen keys, so you obviously you'll need to do that. But if you're trying to even attempt this, you understand that. It's super durable. You can buy extensions for your lights and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe I'll do that. But it took all of probably 20 minutes with some basic tools. And that's today's project. All right, so as you can see, got my chainsaw mounted. It was a little bit trickier than I was hoping for, and I have not tested it yet. Have not tested it yet. So we'll see if it's all worth the, gosh, $80 I think that I paid for this thing. Now, if you remember from an earlier episode, I did get a bunch of credit from everythingpolaris.com. Again, no sponsorships, nothing there, but they have gearbucks. So I bought that really expensive trail mower, rough cut mower, and I had a bunch of credit. And this is something, you know, I've learned it's not a big deal to throw your crap in your bed. and it's generally nice when it's empty. If you got a bunch of stuff in there, you even got room up front to store your stuff. And we'll see how much of a hassle or convenience this thing ends up being if I use it a lot. But I like being neat and organized, so I bought this and realized I didn't really want to drill into my bed just yet, and there was not a good way to mount this lower on the frame here. So even this here, and again, I'm 6'1", this is a little high. Now this rotates. I think that's really important to mention. You can change the angle of this. So if you wanted, right, you could have it at an angle and you could pull it out, so instead of pulling it up. But a lot of my trails are pretty narrow, so I didn't want something sticking out even wider. I'm just not built for that. So what I did is I found a couple bolts at my in my miscellaneous bolt drawer that most of us keep at home, that fit really well with the locking nuts that came with this, and the washers I reused as well. And I mounted it to this bracket, which is probably used for an enclosure or some other accessory that I really don't think I'll need. But anyhow, a little tricky. You can get a 13 millimeter, which is what you need, wrench in here, no problem. And then just use your socket for whatever size bolt you have there. These ended up being a 1/2-inch socket, and that's pretty easy. It's a bit of a bear to get this on there and aligned, and using your shoulder to get everything lined up, because this has got some weight to it. So if you have another person, that might make it easy. Start from the bottom first, that way you can align this top one really easy. What I learned though, is if you're using the close end side of your wrench to align that nut, you can then not get your wrench out. So I had to undo that, and then basically used a pair of pliers in here and kind of use it to hold it, and then you can see there started stripping. So really what you'll find, and you can figure out what kind of tool you got for this if you ever decide to go this route, just be able to get it down in there against the flat side of that nut, and it's torqued pretty good. And so this is firm. This is my 20-inch bar on here. I also have the sheath, the scabbard, sorry, whatever you refer to it as, you know what I'm talking about, on there. So the idea being I can just pull this bad boy out when I need it. It's kind of hard to film that one-handed, but we'll see. I'm gonna go back and cut some stuff up and see how it holds. I do like the kind of professional tidiness that it provides. I could also use this to hold tools and stuff. It's got this cylinder hole here. I don't know. My main intent is chainsaw. I do a lot of cutting, so we'll report back later. All right, gonna try to do some action shots. Been driving a little bit, not too fast. I'm gonna admit it's a little wobblier than I would like. Not concerned about it. Just maybe I shouldn't be using it in the sheath. That's kind of how it's kind of what it's rated for, or designed for. I don't know how to film this for you. Nothing's broken, but don't love it. All right, so we're gonna do a little action shot. This is another trail that I've been working on. This is all well hacked out up here, cleared. But what I've done is not hacked out everything up here further, because it's just a lot of tiny sub 2-inch saplings. And I don't wanna go through spending an hour with pruners, even though I could do that, and I did that on the other trail. I've got this pull behind mower, brush cut, rough cut, that's gonna just disintegrate all that crap. So I've gone through and I've gotten anything bigger than 3 inches, something that I don't want to run over. But now that I got this bumper on, I'm just gonna drive through this shit. And it could be months, it could be summer before I get a mower back here with this swamp. So we'll do a little action shot, see how this goes. It's in 4, obviously. We're gonna do low. No diff lock, shouldn't be that bad. I've gone through a lot worse. See how it goes. Just saying, screw you. Go up over this log, it ain't nothing. All this stuff, you ain't nothing. Beat it. You're gonna spend 17 grand on one of these babies? Use it. Enjoy it. Say screw you, saplings. Wow! Don't want to hit that. These? No worries. Woo-wee. Now, this is what I'm here for. Cut out some logs. Keep going. A little chippy. Alright, so got some work done. It's a bit of a bog, but like you just saw, got back here no problem. Still got a few logs to pick up. Used my 20-incher on this old tree, pretty rotted, so cut through like butter, but you're probably thinking, what happened to me and what am I going to do with my chain, because how the heck would I avoided the mud? And I tried my best, but that chain is probably a few sharpens away from really needing it, and this might have done the trick. But set up my little spot over here. Kind of one of the cool things about working your land, not to get all sentimental with you on a Friday here, but you know, I can foresee dragging out a deer with my boys, maybe a turkey, right? Taking some hero shots here when it's not all swampy, or just taking a break for some snacks. Kind of stuff that you do at the moment, you don't think much of it, you know, and then later on in life it becomes kind of a thing. So yeah, just a bunch of swampy nonsense, which is cool for four-wheeling. Got this little section I cleared out with a lot of work over here. Maybe have the kids, when they get dirt bikes and stuff, take jumps off of it. Yeah, who knows, right? So anyhow, couldn't have done it without that bad boy. Everything is awesome right now. It is 50-something degrees. It's almost springtime. Let the good times roll, boys. Last little update on this. And I'm going to apologize for being a little down right now. I had a trail cam stolen for the first time in 2 years last year. So I cabled everything up. I leave about 3 up around year round. No cell cams or anything expensive. Just to catch people, critters, you know, and I just drove all the way back to one that has honestly been there for 2.5 years and never been touched. Opened it up, it was off, and the memory card out. So I'm, you know, just don't be that guy. Don't suck, right? You know, don't trespass. If it's not your land, it's clearly posted. Stay off of it. If you want permission, a small game hunt or hike, ask for it. You know, don't be an asshole. Sorry about the language. Anyhow, overall ruling here is this is nice. It does shift around a little bit. I could tighten it more. These slid a little bit as I hit some stuff, but it holds, right? I mean, it does everything I wanted it to do. I don't think it's worth the money. If you've got the money, or you do a whole bunch of chainsaw and organization is an issue for you, like it is for me, highly recommend it or something like that. But overall, you know, for the cost, I'm not sure it's worth it if you're probably going to be using your bed. But if you're filling your bed up with stuff, it's a good idea. One other thing I wanted to add is I bought this toolkit, right? I do a bunch of work. I don't live where I hunt and where I work. So installing stuff, working on stuff, needing hammers, drills, sockets, I'm sorry, not drills, but bits, wrenches, all that kind of stuff was something that I found myself preparing for before I came here. So I bought this kit off of Amazon, I think like 40 to 50 bucks. Yeah, they're not great tools. You can tell they're cheap Chinese stuff, right? But if you're just doing little things and these aren't your like main tools, I don't need an expensive Snap-on or even a Craftsman set or Cobalt. So the problem I had is that I thought it would be really nice if it fit in that little cubby there, or maybe under the seat, but it just doesn't. It's too big. And so there's smaller kits with less tools, obviously, but I thought I'd like this. And then I'm like, what am I gonna do with this thing? I don't want it rattling around on the floor or on my seat. And I bought this bungee cord. It's, I think, a 10 by 10 off of Amazon. It's meant for like holding a motorcycle helmet down on the back of a bike, but it's perfect here. And I can honestly tuck other little things away in here. So that's probably gonna be a staple. I am actually happier with this $10 bungee cord and combo kit than I am maybe with my chainsaw holder. So anyhow, I've been doing some pruning here. It's getting dark. The wife says dinner's ready. You know, I'll probably be back tomorrow, even though it's supposed to rain. This is a really old orchard. I am not trying to grow fruit here, but I am trying to maybe just keep the trees alive to bear some fruit for good deer habitat. You can see where there's been some wind damage. So I've spent the last hour kind of pruning and cleaning. Obviously have some more work to do. And then I've got to make a big decision, which I really hate, is with these plums. I got black knot everywhere, beyond the point of repair, and everything I've read is there's nothing you can do when it gets to this point. And that's a shame, because deer love plums. I like plums. And so what I have to ponder is, do I just hack these things down to a small formation and let some offshoots grow back? I don't even know if that's a thing. I'm talking out of my butt right now. I'm gonna call my wife's grandpa, who's gonna tell me probably to cut the whole thing down and burn them. But I'd like to keep these alive. I just don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze. How many more years can they go? Because I don't know if I have the time this year. But I love working the orchard. I love being outside. It's March. Everything's about to green up really soon. And when it comes to pruning and trimming, you know, this is the time to do it. Mid to late March, right before things start growing and when most of the cold weather is gone. So I'll be back, at least trimming up the peach trees. Plums, I don't know. Wish me luck.